Points here for Ivanovic. Was working with Nigel Sears up until after Wimbledon, but split from Nigel now, so she's working with the Adidas team, sharing those resources.
It's an excellent system, that is, with the Adidas.
We've got a disturbance somewhere in the seating area, grandstand court, and I don't know if somebody's fallen ill. Let's see what's happening here. I think we've got somebody maybe overcome by the heat right in the blazing sunshine there, and the players are coming off court. This sometimes happens, doesn't it, when people come and don't. There's Pam Whitecross, the WTA supervisor. But it'll be down to the medics to get in there and evacuate the patient. Okay, let's while this is going on, let's keep you up to date with what else is happening. And Serena Williams has come through her match on Arthur Ashe. You may have been watching this with us over on Eurosport 1. Galina Voskova, her opponent, the Kazakhstani, put up scant resistance. 3 games in the first, none in the second. Straight sets win for the defending champion, 6-3, 6-love. And also in action, Elise Kornet has been playing Alija Tomljanovic from Croatia. And Kornet has come through that one. Further afield, Richard Gasquet is playing on court 13. Stéphane Robert, his opponent, another Frenchman, all French encounter. Here's Gasquet serving, having taken the first 6-3, serving here for the second set, which he took with an ace. So 6-3, 7-5. Gasquet leads 2-0 over Stéphane Robert. And our hunch was correct. It was Ana Ivanovic who'd called for the trainer. Looks like a toe problem for her.
They're quite difficult toe problems. Already in this match, Ana Ivanovic has tied and untied her laces about 5 times. So clearly it's either a shoe issue. It's actually a good time, a good opportunity for Ana Ivanovic to be able to take some time out while the necessary person has the medical attention they need.
Okay, let's... The medics are in the tribune just behind the southern end of grandstand court. There's a problem with one of the spectators, we think. Ana Ivanovic also had the trainer on. Normal service has been resumed now, and it's Dulgheru serving. 30-40, break point for Ivanovic.
Well played, Ana Ivanovic, targeting the forehand of her Romanian opponent.
Okay, well, this lady, we think, was in the white, was the patient, struggling in the heat, but she's being escorted away from the court now, and will get looked after elsewhere.
Good to see she's walking.
Yeah. Dulgheru's turn to go to the challenge system. It was a late call. Ivanovic backed it up by pointing her finger in the air, and yeah, that's how out it was. Long way.
50 left. 30 left.
99 miles per hour on the ace.
Dulgheru has 2 challenges remaining.
That equates to 159 kilometers per hour. Yeah, of course it does, because 100 is 160, isn't it? That's right.
40 left.
Ivanovic boasts a good first serve. If you remember when she was the #1 in the world and reached her career high, she lost her ball toss, went all wayward, and the service action went off a little.
Good example of it right there, just as you finished that sentence, it went off to the right.
The second serve is the issue that's really struggled for the last 3 years.
40, 50.
It's one of those things in tennis that if you can't place your ball toss in a good position every single time, you're going to have issues. It seems so simple. Why can't someone just throw the ball up straight? But it's when you're in the heat of the moment, in the battle, in big situations, grand slams, it's not that simple.
And once you lose the ability to throw the ball straight into the correct place, it's even harder to get it back because the habit develops. Ivanovic, 3-love up. Excellent start to this second round match for Ana Ivanovic up against Alexandra Dulgheru from Romania. First meeting between the two. Ivanovic, the world number 15 currently, seeded 13 here. Dulgheru currently ranked 214 in the world. So 214, SR 58 is her ranking.
Yeah, she was a lot higher a couple of years ago. I actually played her at Wimbledon. In the mixed doubles 2 years ago, and as you say there, Matt, she was a top 60 player. So far better than the 214 ranking she boasts right now.
Did you win, by the way?
We didn't. Myself and Anne Kjothabong lost.
Dulgheru, and you can't remember who she was playing
It
with?
was actually David Marrero, a Spanish player.
Okay.
But it was clear that Dulgheru had a very, very good backhand and was brave on big occasions. The forehand let her down in situations, but clearly we didn't play to it enough.
Yeah.
She just doesn't have the same acceleration through the ball on the forehand side. The grip is slightly more Eastern grip than a usual forehand, and therefore doesn't get the arm through as well. So it will be a tactic for the Serb to attack that shot. Excellent change up from Ivanovic once again with the slice, bringing her opponent forward and then punishing her with a forehand down the line. It's a shot that Nigel Sears tried to bring into the Ivanovic game, the slice, to try and have more variety.
Break point again. Dulgheru in a lot of bother here. Love 3, 30-40.
Yes.
Yes, better from Dulgheru. Trying to dictate the rallies. It's a must against Ivanovic.
Look at the crowd. Everybody's got a camera, haven't they? If you haven't got a camera, you've got a phone which has got a camera on it.
Exactly.
Advantage, Dulgheru.
It's good to see Grandstand has got some people watching, actually, because earlier in the week it was
Pretty quiet, wasn't it?
quiet, yeah. So the New Yorkers are gradually warming to the tournament.
Well, they've got lots of American interest for a start, with 15 men starting the draw, and I haven't actually counted the women. And of course, Serena is the big favourite. She's a big draw these days, Serena. Everybody wants to see her, you know, wipe out the opponents.
Sloane Stephens.
Yeah, Sloane Stephens and Jamie Hampton. So the interest is there at the moment, but it's been a bit lacking for the last 2 or 3 years. Dulgheru's off the mark.
Ivanovic leads 3-1.
Actually, having said that about the Americans, there aren't too many Americans involved today on the show courts. Bradley Clarn is playing Feliciano Lopez on court 17. John Isner is taking on Gael Monfils. Sam Querrey is up as well a little later. Jack Sock plays, and Victoria Duval plays Daniela Hantukovic. She's the one remaining female to play today after Serena's win.
That's much better from Dulgheru, starting to feel the ball on the court, feel the atmosphere, moving her opponent around the court.
What was
Love 15.
Ivanovic's problem there? Had a chat with the umpire about something? I don't think it was a call. A chat with Damien Duboussoir about something.
I think it was something on the court that she was trying to get a let for, but I think the point was over.
Good effort.
Taking the Ivanovic forehand on its own merits, ignoring the serve, the backhand, everything. I think forehand to forehand, Ana Ivanovic as good as anyone.
Yeah.
She hits it very sweetly and can go either direction.
Second serve.
We talked about 15 male Americans starting the draw. There were 6 Romanians in the starting lineup in the women's tournament. 3 advanced to the second round, including Costea and Halep, as well as Alexandra Dulgheru. So Romanian tennis currently on the women's side in pretty rude health. And Dulgheru recently returned from knee surgery as well, so she missed the early part of the spring and most of last year.
40-15.
So she's got a kind of special ranking, a protected ranking because of the injury. So officially she's down at 214, but the protected ranking allows her to enter the tournament with a ranking of 58.
40-13.
You can see a hefty knee brace on that left knee.
Yeah.
It always concerns me when you come back from injury and you're wearing aiding medical taping that are you fully fit. Well, she's looked like she's moving well so far, which is positive.
Oh, that's a good shot. And Ivanovic adds to her tally. A little fist pump as she goes in front by 4 games to 1.
Ivanovic leads 4 games to 1.
After all the rain of Wednesday, Thursday looks like being a much better day at the US Open. A little bit of cloud around, but they say only a 10 to 20% chance of precipitation this afternoon. And we'll hope it stays away. It's lovely and dry and warm at the moment. Good day to watch tennis. Dulgheru 1-4.
15.
Those shadows just beginning to creep across the court now. Do you find that distracting as a player when you get all those movements from the people leaning over the balcony at the top?
But I think shadow is one of the toughest things to play through in tennis. It doesn't seem that difficult, but when the ball goes in and out of light, you can lose vision of the tennis ball.
Oh, unlucky.
And that's the thing about the US Open, which when you're here, you realise that there's always noise, hustle and bustle, and when people are walking around, you actually ignore them. At Wimbledon, if someone moves from around the court or at the French Open, you're waiting until they're like a statue.
If you move on centre court at Wimbledon, they lock you away, don't they? But these shadows on the left now, so that's a moving shadow because that comes from spectators. Do you find that somebody makes a violent move that can actually distract you? That doesn't come into it?
No, it doesn't really. No, once you're in the rally, you're pretty focused on the ball. It's just a question of whether the ball changes and travels through the shadow, going from light to dark. That's when it can affect you.
The adjustment.
Yeah. That's the game style that I'd like Anna Ivanovic to play more of. I think she's got good hands. She's done well in doubles in the past. But it's just a question of being braver, coming forward. She boasts such a strong, flat forehand that the better players, like better movers, Wozniacki, Williams, Radwanska, they can move her around and get an extra ball back, and then the error comes out.
Yeah, Dulgheru. Ivanovic leads 4 games to 2.
Dulgheru beginning to get into her stride now. So that's where the shadows are coming from. Those folks on the balcony. We're on the grandstand court, and that side of it is sort of bolted onto Louis Armstrong. And then further to the west of there is the big one, the Arthur Ashe.
Now 15.
Well, Dulgheru has done well the last 15 minutes. She's found her feet. She's tried to extend the rallies, tried to be a bit braver in the point. And Ivanovic hasn't had it all her own way. Going back to the grandstand, it's a fantastic court, this grandstand court. It's very intimate, very close, more people-friendly.
Dulgheru is getting the call on the left baseline. The ball was called in.
Dulgheru challenged immediately, but she hasn't got a great record in this department so far in the match. She was miles away last time she went upstairs. She's got this one right, though. No, she's got it wrong, I beg your pardon. It's Ivanovic who got it right. Yeah, she's used up 2 of the 3 now.
This is wayward. Uncharacteristic from the Ivanovic forehand.
Thought for a moment she was going to get lucky there.
30.
I think if Dulgheru was playing really smart here, she'd keep the ball in the court, realise that Ivanovic is struggling a little with her tactics. It's an opportunity for the Romanian. Still the forehand lacking a little bit of confidence on the short ball.
Ivanovic was a quarter-finalist here a year ago, knocked out by the eventual champion Serena Williams. There's that ball toss again, heading off over her right shoulder. Yeah, nicely done. 5-2 in front. 36 minutes played. Ana Ivanovic moving ahead nicely now. Lovely afternoon in Queens. You can see Citi Field, top right, home of the New York Mets.
Take your seat quickly, please.
Grandstand court, playing host to the Serbian Ana Ivanovic, who leads 5-2 over the Romanian Alexandra Dulgheru, who is serving to stay in the opening set, 2-5.
Phenomenal forehand. That's the forehand that took her right to the top of the rankings. It was deadly, and there's glimpses still now. She's ranked 15, still a good ranking, but I tend to think she's a top 10 player, Ana Ivanovic, if she could get her mind comfortable with her game style.
Oh, that was a bit careless. So many options and so much time and space there for Dulgheru. Oh! Bounced on her side of the court. There we go, 3 set points. Very disappointing end to the set for Dulgheru. And the first serve went straight into the hitting zone for Ana Ivanovic on her forehand side. And she's taken the first set in 40 minutes by 6-2. Ready for the second set on grandstand court. Second match of the day. Christina Mikhail and Alina Svitolina were on first, and now Ana Ivanovic aims to take her place in the third round. She's taken the first set here over Alexandra Dulgheru. 6-2. 42 minutes played. Exactly 3 o'clock on this lovely afternoon in New York. Good to have you with us.
Talking about Christina Mikhail, I think women's tennis is pretty exciting at the moment. You look at Sloane Stephens, Christina Mikhail, Laura Robson, Caroline Garcia, some very good young players who I think are going to be pushing the Ivanovic's, Kirilenko's players around the ranking of 10. Often that's what you need in the sport. You need a new influx of people to come through, and I think we're lacking in the men's a little bit, but we've got such a big top 4 that that's what makes it exciting in the men's game.
Yeah.
I mean, Laura Robson is 19, 20 years old.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like she's been around forever. She's still a teenager.
Yeah.
And on the British side as well, Johanna Konta's making strides in the right direction too.
She is. She's an extremely hard-working girl. Very good baseliner, improved a lot recently, made a final and the win of 2 challenges. That will make Dulgheru feel a lot better, hitting that forehand so crisply. It's what was lacking in the first set, and Ivanovic just targeted that wing and it let her down, but hopefully that's good news for her.
That's a great forehand down the line. Travelled so quickly.
Yeah, it's a complete contrast between the Romanian and the Serb. The Ivanovic forehand has been spot on.
So here are the numbers from that opening set.
Well, it's the unforced errors from Dulgheru. She's really struggled to generate pace on the forehand, as we've spoken about, and therefore making 12 unforced errors. It turns out to be a 6-2 loss in the first set.
So Dulgheru really has to win this game. News from Janko Tipsarevic. He's beaten Dudi Sela in straight sets 4-4 and 1.
Very pleased for Tipsarevic. He's struggled all year, having made his top 10 appearance last year. He's now in the 20s, and good for him. It's been impressive from Ivanovic. He's being relentless, as you see the focus continuing. As a player, you realise when are crucial situations in the match, and as Matt said, Dulgheru will be desperate. Must-win game.
Poor execution of what should have been a simple finish for Ivanovic. Yeah, good finish from Dulgheru.
That's much better from Dulgheru. Getting some positive vibes from her camp following that point. That one felt good. When you haven't played many matches and you're lacking a little bit of form, as Dulgheru is just through that knee injury, it's so key to stay close. 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or to give yourself belief and be out there as long as possible.
Yeah, we talked a little while ago about Christina Mikhail. The winner of this match will play Christina Mikhail in the 3rd round. And then there's a potential meeting with Victoria Azarenka, who's up against Alexandra Wozniak of Canada a little later today. Dulgheru beginning to build a bit of pressure here. And we've got news of a retirement. Rufin has had to call it quits, and Dmitry Tursunov goes through after a long first set. 1-1 in the second, and Rufin's out. Tursunov seeded this year.
Disappointing error from the Romanian girl. Having worked so hard to put 2 points advantage up in the game. As a player, you never want to go 3 points down. If you go 2 down, it's so key to get that 1 back.
Good pick up from Ivanovic, but just too much. Now this is a key moment in the game as far as Dulgheru's chances go. Couple of break points here.
She's doing really well. She's dictating the point, finishing at the net. That's what we didn't see in the first set.
Now took a wild swing at that forehand. Might be a little more cautious with this second break point. Now Dulgheru's got a second serve to try and climb all over here. Almost. Sigh of relief there from Ivanovic.
Yeah, wasn't it just? She played a very good return, pushed her opponent back, and couldn't have wanted it anywhere else. The Dulgheru backhand.
Mixed emotions there. Despair from Dulgheru and delight for Ivanovic. Saving the 2 break points, and now with a chance to move ahead in the second set. Too big. Dulgheru might not get many more chances like that. Ivanovic back in control, 2-1 up in the second set. Anna Ivanovic up 2-1. Still no breaks in this second set. Winner of this one will play Christina Mikhail. Sven Grunewald is the man who's looking after Anna Ivanovic at the moment.
Yes, Sven and Darren Cahill, the 2 main Adidas coaches, with Mats Merkel, the hitter. They've got an excellent setup for the players. Done a lot of work with Wozniacki, Ivanovic, Kirilenko, all top players.
1-2. Yeah, both players chasing them down. Ivanovic couldn't get there.
Yes, I think Ivanovic disappointed not to do more with that passing shot. But still, very good hands from the Romanian girl.
30 love.
Excellent serve from Dulgheru.
40 love.
Really starting to look good out here, feeling comfortable. You don't need much, you just need a glimpse, something that can just click in your mind to make you feel like I can hang in there in this match. I think it's the balance, Matt, of going too big with a forehand to actually not doing enough with it. It's what Dulgheru is struggling with at the moment.
Yeah, a happy medium needs to be found. She's a powerful player, lots of strength. Oh, great return of serve from Anna.
40, 30.
Sweetly struck backhand.
Left for service.
I'm always amazed how close the women stand to the baseline on first serves. Inside the baseline, and even closer for second.
Yeah, now she's a metre inside. Well, that's why.
Yes.
That was 77 miles per hour. Slower than Stuart Broad will bowl at Lord's. For those of you not at the British position, I do apologise for that cricket reference, which probably meant nothing to most of you. What a beautifully engineered point by Anna Ivanovic. No wonder she's celebrating.
Yes, point of the match from the serve. Fantastic. Always had her opponent on the piece of string.
Ivanovic.
Very impressive.
So from 40 love to break point. Yes. A high looping ball, she took it on the rise, got herself in position perfectly, and executes the first break of the second set.
Ivanovic leads.
So, news from elsewhere. Richard Gasquet has come through against fellow Frenchman Stéphane Robert. 3 sets, 6-3, 7-5. His match point, Gasquet 6-5 in the third. That match recently completed. We're back on grandstand now. Anna Ivanovic 6-2 in the first, up a break in the second, 3-1.
She's got all the momentum with her right now, Anna Ivanovic. Did well to claw her way out after a couple of games early in the set and deserved a 3-1 lead. Ivanovic fist pumps and gives herself a lot of positive energy when she's feeling good, and when she's not, she looks at her camp a lot and looks worried. So you can always tell as an opponent when when Ivanovic is feeling the pressure.
30-15.
Yeah, that return of serve from Alexandra Dulgheru right on the baseline, forcing Ivanovic to improvise. Heavily taped right shoulder. We know she's had knee problems as well, so the body is being nursed through this return Grand Slam tournament. Yeah, Ivanovic with time to spot Dulgheru's move and go the other way.
Yeah, she's got one of the best forehand cross courts, as we talked about, but also deadly in the forecourt.
Ivanovic is taking the call on the right center service time. The ball was put out.
Well, Ivanovic thought it was in.
Let's have a look. It was just out, just by a whisker.
Well, honestly, I saw it very close, so I don't know how you saw it.
She was waiting to return. The ball was like inside the line.
I'm not sure you can argue with Hawkeye, can you?
I'm not sure it was inside the line, Anna. I mean, it was very close. There was a slight couple of millimeters
40.
that can be varied on Hawkeye, but maybe it clipped the line, but on this occasion it was called wide.
It matters not in the end, as Ivanovic storms to a 4-1 lead in the second set, having taken the first comfortably 6-2. She's in good shape here after just over an hour. Day 4 at the 2013 US Open. Well populated today, lots of people in. We've had pretty good crowds this week. Sometimes the early first 3 or 4 days of the Open can be a bit disappointing, but they've been okay, the crowd numbers this week. I don't know if they've done something different with the tickets or the entry arrangements, but it's good.
Well, I think the difficult aspect with Flushing Meadows is there's so many big stadiums, so from a camera point of view they look maybe not so full, but every stadium is massive and holds so many thousands of people that it's not possible to fill them. The sheer numbers of people required are too great, but it means that when you're playing on the court and it is full, what an atmosphere you get out here. It's, as we said, looking up at the top left, it's a standing arrangement, so people can come in and come out, dip into the match if they fancy it, and also go and look at some of the other fascinating matches on the outside courts.
Yeah, and just above that standing room was the eastern stand on the Louis Armstrong Stadium. So if you're up in that corner, you can look down and watch both courts. Starting to really turn it on now. She can afford to in this commanding position.
Still wayward with that short forehand as soon as it gets above shoulder height. 24 on Forsteras is a lot of on Forsteras. think it's exciting for Sven Grunefeld and the Adidas team to work with Ivanovic, because she's a player who always seems to meet her ranking. She's been between this ranking for a few years now, and seeing form like this, I think she could really progress and be a dangerous player to go deeper in the tournaments.
She's a Grand Slam winner as well on the French Open, Roland Garros. Her one and only Grand Slam final appearance. Always getting worse for Dulgheru. Called on a foot fault there, first of the match. And Ana Ivanovic will now try to serve it out. Dulgheru's unhappy with the call, but it seems that her US Open is approaching its conclusion here.
Low 15.
Yes, we spoke about the importance of staying close with your opponent when you're set down, and unfortunately for Dulgheru that hasn't happened, and it's run away with the Ivanovic game.
It's long.
Stunning from Ivanovic. Back behind.
15, 30.
Fantastic on the move. Hitting it sweet as anything.
Well, double faults have been a rare commodity in this match so far.
Yes, Ivanovic will really want to wrap this up without giving Dulgheru any more time to think about staying on the court.
Yes.
Good serve for Ivanovic, break point down. Always a good sign of where your game is, if you can think clearly on break points and put in good first serves.
Last-minute nerves here for Ana Ivanovic as she attempts to finish off this match. Another break point for Dulgheru. I'm not sure they're too worried with the advantage she's got, but let's get it done would be the thought now. Back to deuce.
Fantastic. Once again we see what shots Ivanovic trusts. That first serve and that forehand. Ideal point.
It's long again.
Advantage.
Another break point for Dulgheru, who's holding her ground here. Third break point of this game.
Yes.
Another Romanian, Simona Halep, has come through against Ivanovic of Croatia, 6-2, 6-1. Ivanovic now looked after by David Felgate. Well, the crowd here who are waiting for the next match, which features the All-American boy Sam Querrey, may not have to wait too much longer. Here's match point for Ivanovic. That's it. A little stutter and stumble towards the end, but all in all, a very pleasing performance for the Ana Ivanovic connections. The recovery and the recuperation continues for Alexandra Dulgheru, still making her way back from the knee injury which kept her out for almost a year. For Ana Ivanovic, a place in the third round to play Christina McHale, the American. That surely will be on the big court.
Well, Ivanovic should be thrilled with her performance, so should her support staff. She's played very well. The forehand was hitting it as sweetly as anything, and slightly weaker shots of Ivanovic really impressed me, the backhand and the serve. So all in all, very good day, and she should be thoroughly thrilled with her performance out there. And interesting matchup against Christina McHale in the next rounds.
Yeah, should be good. Okay, let's see what else has been going on while we wait to see where we're heading next. I can tell you that Roger Federer's got off to a pretty good start in his match with Carlos Berlocq, the Argentinian. That was Roger taking the first set after a challenge. So I had to go upstairs, but Federer...
Game of first set.
Yeah, it's confirmed as the first set going to Roger Federer. And on Louis Armstrong, we saw David Ferrer take the first set on Eurosport 2 a little earlier. Well, Roberto Bautista Agut has squared the match by taking the second on a tiebreak, 7-5 in the tiebreak. An hour and 40 minutes. Warming up nicely, that one set all between the two Spaniards, Bautista Agut and Ferrer. Right, after this commercial break, we'll be heading back to watch the two Spaniards in action. That's our next port of call here on Eurosport 2.